The AI revolution. How to get AI sorted, how to address AI without wasting a lot of money. So just to confirm, this is aimed at business leaders, CEOs, MDs, founders, board directors, NEDs, chairs. It's not a techie talk. I'll keep to a minimum any jargon, and we're not going to get lost into technology comparisons, data stacks, and the benefits of SQL versus no SQL. If that was lost on you, great. This is where you need to be. And before we get going, can you just pop a message in the chat? Let me know who you are, what you're hoping to get out of today. Are you excited by AI, or maybe you're just confused, or maybe even worried? Remember, nobody else can see your comments. My aim for this session is to be thought-provoking, to prick your curiosity, to get you to ask yourself, are we ready for AI? Are we really data-driven? How will we use AI? How will it impact us? And during this session, I'd like you to gain a greater understanding of the issues and solutions that I've experienced with other clients. Many are common in every business, so if anything resonates with you, pop it into chat and I will cover it if I can, now or later. Secondly, to introduce you to the Intelidat way of getting AI sorted, of being an AI winner, and a hint, it's not about the technology. And finally, Q&A. Pop these, as I say, into the Q&A rather than the chat. It's only visible to you and me, and neither will be visible or appear on the recording. I'm going to share my foundation steps to getting AI sorted. If you can go ahead and get yourself ready without any help from me, then that's a win for me. I know that I add value to this process by reducing the number of mistakes you will inevitably make and by accelerating the time frame. Both mistakes and time are expensive, and not just in financial terms. There are 3 key requirements you need to get in place to get AI sorted. Strands of AI have actually been around for a while. It's not all completely new. In the first place, you need to get your business AI ready. Secondly, you need to understand what parts of AI you first need. What are your priorities? And thirdly, you'll need to be able to know how to take advantage of AI and how AI will be driving you. And that is the more difficult bit. I'm going to start with a quick recap of where AI is today. What is it? What might AI mean to you? Then, what does it mean to be AI ready? I'm going to introduce you to the concept of what I call intelligent data. Data drives information, and it also drives AI. But not all data is created equally. In our digitally aware businesses, we are generating masses of data. But are you capturing the right data, and are you using it? What does it really mean to be data-driven, and why does it matter today to take this so seriously? Being data-driven prepares you to be AI ready. You need to lay down the foundations. Why is there a sense of urgency about this topic today? Well, it's not simply a case of money. If you're thinking we cannot afford to do this, the question that maybe you also consider is, can you afford to ignore it? I want to talk about the vital relationship between people, process, systems, and technology. I call this the culture, a business culture that focuses on the key pillars of information, knowledge, efficiency, risk aversion, and the data vision and flow that is captured by and runs through your business. Why is it crucial to address this now? Why is it so important to put data at the heart of your digital or information strategy? I want to encourage you to shift your thinking to this vital role that data plays. Why you should adopt a data-centric rather than application or technology-centric mindset. And how and where do you start? With your business, by identifying your business needs. I call this part your information strategy. And this is what we call our foundation framework, and it is an essential part of your business strategy. An information strategy underpins your business strategy. Do you rely on gut feel or experience to make decisions, maybe backed up by data and reports? Today, we need to pivot that reliance, rely on data, and back that up by referring to gut feel and experience. With AI, this is becoming even more important. Too many businesses have an issue with data quality, which they struggle to address. Becoming data-driven is a precursor to being AI ready. If you don't agree with your data, don't shrug it off. You need to fix it. Data-driven is a great soundbite, but has not proved easy to deliver. Why is this such an important step? AI is data insights and actions driven without human curation. You have to get confident in your data, trust your information before you can accept AI. It's a cultural change for many businesses. It's not comfortable, but it must be addressed. You'll need to shift your focus from being technology-led to data-led. And that starts with this information strategy. What I will fix on is what you can do to be best prepared, to be ready to recognize what is going on and be ready to take advantage in this fast-moving new environment. We call it being AI ready. As you will see, the concepts of data-driven AI ready are closely linked. They both need the same basics, the same foundations to be in place. So that is where we're going. I hope this resonates with you, that you understand that addressing AI in one way or another today is crucial. Just keep your wallet closed for the time being. First, understand what you need. There is a huge sense of urgency around this topic, so do not put it off. I'm shortly going to go through a brief history of AI and what AI might mean to you. AI will be affecting every part of your business model. It may indeed even change that model completely. But where do you start? Yes, you need to understand what AI can do, but you also must know your business, how it works, people, departments, processes, systems. What bit or bits of your business will AI help now? What might you be using next? Where and how quickly? What is the most important part of your business today that needs assistance? And can that come from AI? That is the purpose of an AI strategy. What do you need where first? We'll start with a quick review of AI from the 1600s, believe it or not, through to today. And then we'll move on to the foundations you need in place. And I'll share a couple of real-life examples on the way, case studies that illustrate the benefits of a methodical approach. AI is on everyone's lips, and it's now seen in every technology solution. It looks like the shiny new toy of a modern business. In fact, AI can be traced back several centuries in one form or another. René Descartes in the 17th century exploring animals as machines, and during the 19th and 20th centuries with the development of early calculating machines and automata. The term AI officially dates back to the mid-1950s. In his 1950 paper, Turing, often referred to as the father of computer science, asked the following question: can machines think? From there, he offers a test now famously known as the Turing test, where a human interrogator would try to distinguish between a computer and a human text response. The computer scientist, John McCarthy, coined the term artificial intelligence in 1955, and the Dartmouth Conference in 1956 laid the foundations for an academic field known as artificial intelligence. And up to the 1980s, early developments focused on symbolic reasoning and problem solving using rules and logic. Overhyping, who would have believed it, of AI led to a loss of confidence in investment. It's called the AI winter of the 1980s. However, during that period, new techniques became popular, but it was not until the early 2010s and onwards that real progress started to be made. In part, this was driven by the availability of large data sets and increasing computer power. Developments in neural networks first started in the 80s and 90s, achieved success in image recognition, and natural language processing, or NLP, became normalized. Let's put today into context. OpenAI was founded in 2015, and ChatGPT was launched in 2022, 66 years after the Dartmouth Conference, and all of a year ago today. The rate of change in the past year has been phenomenal, and it is getting faster. Any business leader choosing to ignore the potential impact of AI may well be backing a losing horse. It's not like the choice between Betamax and VHS and waiting to choose the technology. Today, we have customer service chatbots, predictive analytics, supply chain optimization, fraud detection, personalized marketing, automation of routine tasks. And it's bringing challenges, ethics, privacy, and, ironically, given the fears over job losses, a lack of humans trained in AI skills. But what about tomorrow? Integration with other technologies, IoT, blockchain, 5G, natural language processing leading to improvements in language understanding and generation, healthcare, finance, and autonomous systems, efficiency, innovation, even completely new business models, challenges that will need careful consideration. The wrong choices will be expensive. However, making no choice is not really a choice today. Businesses that successfully navigate the evolving AI landscape stand to gain a competitive advantage. The key phrase here is gain a competitive advantage. This is a quote lifted directly from ChatGPT earlier this year. I suppose you would say it would say that, wouldn't it? And what does the AI landscape actually look like? A big mistake is to assume that AI is ChatGPT or ChatGPT is AI. ChatGPT, large language models, generative AI are simply the latest exciting strands of the whole AI topic. Looking for a way to adopt ChatGPT as your AI strategy is akin to focusing your marketing on Facebook only. Facebook is one strand of social media marketing, and that is but one strand of marketing. It may have a role and a place in your marketing strategy, but it would be a mistake to call it your marketing strategy. And like the discipline of marketing, these strands won't operate in isolation. It's likely that you'll be using one or more to achieve your strategic objectives. And where do you need AI today? These are just 12 areas that AI can help your business. They include data, marketing, operations, HR, communications, finance, quality control. We could also include research and business services. What about data mining in documents or document comparison? Who remembers the Panama Papers back in 2016? 11.5 million documents, 2.6 terabytes of data. This volume of data would have overwhelmed any normal human-driven organization. But the team behind that developed systems to read the papers and identify objects, names, dates, and businesses, and then created a knowledge graph with the links between objects, which recognized where objects with similar names were actually the same. And this allowed them to build automated relationship models that enabled a deep dive into all the facts to be derived. Whether you approve of the leak or not, the method by which all of the information was ordered and catalogued was extraordinary. They achieved in months what would otherwise have taken decades. They did this by combining generative AI, robotic process automation, and large language models with another relatively new technology called knowledge graphs. As a result, journalists were able to track and analyze relationships between people, documents, and businesses, uncovering legal, illegal, and nefarious practices around the whole issue of offshore banking and money transfers. You may not be facing a task as big as this one, but we've done something similar with a contract reviewing project. A business needing to review client and supplier contracts issued by multiple offices to assess their risk exposure. We fed the documents through a digital reader and used AI to pull out key facts from every document, creating an instant database that allowed their new legal department to assess the risk and then work through their contracts in a logical risk way. Starting with the highest risk, it also allowed them to assess whether they had to focus their training and remedial activities and where. That's business. But what about personal usage? About helping you or your staff, making you more efficient, more creative. AI does raise many issues around job losses and machines taking over our lives. I ascribe to the feeling of excitement myself, tempered with caution. I use AI in my everyday life. The designer app in PowerPoint to change my layout, ChatGPT and Bard are my unpaid intelligent interns helping me with research. I enjoy Netflix and Spotify content that is generated for me. Amazon helping me buy things I just might need, LinkedIn telling me what I should read, and so on. Every other Instagram post gives me more AI-driven solutions that will transform my life. Some are brilliant, some are not. You may have heard of a term, shadow IT. This is potentially shadow AI. Your staff signing up for AI tools and possibly sharing your data. This is potentially an area of concern, and it should be on your radar, both from a data and a cost point of view. If you want to know more, pop a comment into the chat and I'm happy to help you later. So how do we get AI sorted? Before we get to this bit, who am I and why would you be listening to me? My name is Philip Milne. I'm a founder of Intelidat. I've been going 5 years. My premise back in 2018 was that AI was coming and would revolutionize the way that we do business. I saw it as being data-driven without human curation. Data identifying insights, systems are in place to implement them. That was my vision back then, pre-pandemic. Still is today, though I'm older and wiser as to what is needed to get to this point. Many of my potential clients in that time were not ready for AI. Many of us were struggling with similar issues, but they are surmountable, and not just by throwing money at them. However, now is the time to address these issues to get them sorted. Don't leave it much longer. As we have seen, AI comes in many forms, and it is already here. It is already changing the speed at which people make decisions and do business. And there is a real danger that some good, sound businesses may get left behind. I trust if you're here that will not be yours. Before Intelidat, and yes, it is spelt with one L, I was one of the founders and group operations director of a company called the Concerta Group. I wore many hats: chief operating officer, information, digital, health and safety, payroll, operations, delivery. We grew from a startup to a £40 million a year business and a successful sale to a trade competitor in 2017. In the early days, my partner was sales and marketing. My job was everything else. building the internal bridges to meet client expectations. And as the business grew and expanded, our needs changed. Mergers, acquisitions, vertical expansion all brought different challenges. But through it all, we always had excellent data and information. We were miles ahead of our competitors. It was based on the concept of integrated business systems. All our technology spoke to the same database, excellent value for money, and a real competitive advantage as it proved. The business management system, or the BMS as we called it, provided a backbone across the whole business, a mix of best-of-breed systems, all focused on data, accurate, real-time data, an accessible single source of truth. We used early bits of AI, early ML models, automation, RPA, early AI predictive techniques where we could. And as we sold the business, I was already planning how AI would be officially integrated in the future, planning to revolutionize our business forecasting with AI-led prediction, more automation opportunities using machine learning to cut costs, improving our service levels, making reporting even better and more intuitive. And that was my background when I set up Intelidat, a play on the words intelligent data. The reality that I found was that our focus on data was not the norm. In fact, it was unusual. Most companies I began talking to spent far more money on technology, but invariably they had data quality issues. They were not data-driven, and they were certainly not AI-ready, and I think it was really holding them back. There were similar issues to be found in all of them. A lack of information leadership, no technology strategy, disparate ad hoc systems. They lacked any way of measuring success in their information. They had no grasp on how to measure their ROI. They were even struggling, I thought, to understand what they should be doing better and how, and whether they were getting value for money. They were invariably spending lots of money, but they weren't getting very much value for that money. Have you any idea of how much this part of your business, your information and data, is costing you today? Technology, people, time, not on the communication side, but on information. At Concerto, ours was less than 1% of turnover, but I now realize that that was exceptionally good value. As you will see soon, I've helped businesses where expenditure was more than 10% of turnover. That would mean for me a budget of £4 million per annum at Concerto. And that particular client told me they could not afford anything decent. 16 times what I had allocated myself, and every pound had to be justified. There were lots of reasons why this happened, which we'll see shortly. And how do we help at Intelidat? By helping you get your foundations up to speed, by focusing on your business needs, mentoring your existing teams, building new ones, helping your business identify the business need and how you meet that need. We work in various ways, light touch steering or even a driving role, interim leadership, pushing for short-term improvements in foundations. Or it could be as a board advisor or mentor, delivering data value to the board, a longer-term relationship, and on occasion, short-term consultancy roles. We do not have a lot of bodies to keep busy. We'll find experts together to meet your needs, and I work on your behalf to get the right deal at the right price. And what makes me special? I've covered every business role at one time or another, so that means I have a very broad-brush view of how teams can and should work together. Specifically, I am an expert at identifying how to design and implement integrated business systems so they do their job user-friendly, efficient, scalable, and promote best practice, whether they're off the shelf, SaaS, software as a service, or building bespoke solutions. I practice disciplines like business system and solution architecture, process management and mining, 21st century reporting solutions, data governance, cybersecurity. However, I describe myself as a logical, pragmatic businessman who talks techie. I understand how a business can take advantage of technology and now AI. I've done it all my working life, but I am not profligate. IT, information, data, it's all part of the business machine. That now includes AI. It's either helping you achieve your business goals, it's part of your P&L focus, or it needs to change. I am focused on outcomes, efficiency and productivity reporting, automation and forecasting that works and helps you achieve your aims. I'm definitely not on implementing new technology, getting anyone to spend more money on shiny new toys. Every client gets an individual service tailored to your needs. What is a holistic view? How many of you heard of the term point solutions? I come across them quite a lot. It's a concept where there is an issue, maybe within a single department, maybe a single process. You identify the issue, research the solutions, issue RFIs and RFPs, go through an extensive beauty parade, select a solution, put it in place, and then find that it doesn't do everything that was promised. Maybe it exacerbates other issues that then come to the fore. This is what often happens when we try and solve individual issues with a point solution. That process or department was never working in isolation, yet that is effectively what we were hoping would happen by addressing the issue with a point solution. Then you try and get additional value by linking that data to another system hosted on another technology with a completely separate data structure, and that in turn causes more problems. Maybe it needs more money to try and fix it, and so on and so forth. And why does this happen? Probably because we're approaching these issues in isolation and not looking at the business as a set of joined up processes and systems. We fail to realize our processes are linked together with common dependencies that need an integrated business system with a joined up collaborative data structure based on a common master data structure. There is no 360-degree holistic review linked to the strategic objectives, goals, and KPIs of the business. AI is moving quickly. Can you afford to be left behind? Beyond the hype means dragging our enthusiasm, even our fears, back to our own business. Where do we need to improve? Where can AI make a difference? And that starts with your business needs. You're going to hear this a lot today. I'm shortly going to go through my framework and foundation behind being AI ready and data driven. And before that, I want to tell you a short story about a business that may or may not have been used in Intelidat to get a handle on their information, process, systems, and budgets. And the client in particular, they were turning over about £30 million and spending over 10% of that on information handling, £3 million a year. Earlier, I asked if you had a figure. At Concerto, ours was £250,000 on a £40 million turnover and 400 staff, and less than 1% of our turnover. This particular client operates in a regulated industry. They were subject to rules and penalties and regular audits, both from regulators and from clients. All departments had built their own systems. There was no clear leadership or overview. They had 6 core technologies: a CRM system, project management, accounts, ERP, marketing automation, and a very expensive and inefficient data stack, which led to a data lake and a data warehouse. They regarded themselves as digital leaders in their field. But, as is so often true, they had in addition lots of spreadsheet systems. I could see security issues with sharing and using and accessing data, huge potential for fines. They had an enthusiastic BI DevOps infrastructure team of about 35 plus staff, who seemed to achieve very, very little. There was no strategy and no real plan. Their reports are what I described as hand-cranked. Slow, variable results, no confidence, they were expensive to produce. They had all the technology, but effectively it was built on sand. Data quality issues abounded, mainly down to their department process and technology silos. Departments were creating their own reports, Power BI, spreadsheets, or even manual, all sweat, picks and shovels. Everyone questioning what the report showed, where the data came from, and off-quoting, but my report is different. Reports were painting pictures department heads wanted seen. The leadership was struggling. They trusted mostly their financial data, but that was always out of date. It was so difficult to use to drive the business forward. So what happened? Well, following a review, we started an information strategy. We identified lots of room to reduce technology costs and increase efficiency, opportunities to reduce the cost of delivery, automate functions, improve communications, and reduce data risk. We improved reporting at all levels. We made reporting more useful, business-centric, and trusted. We worked on introducing a culture of data quality and awareness. This was probably the most difficult bit. It always is. And how did we do this? Well, it started with leadership. It really helped that we had buy-in to the process from top to bottom, and cultural change was embraced. It is an ongoing process and relies on input from all stakeholders that were led by the CEO. We created a business process model, how the business should work, and compared that against reality. We cut out variations. We improved the ideal. We articulated a master data structure. I'll come back to this. We started a simple glossary, but very quickly upgraded this to a business knowledge hub to improve communication and adherence to regulations. We developed the genesis of integrated systems. We rationalized technology, both to save money and to improve data quality, and improved data collaboration, data quality mainly through reducing then removing our data silos, seamless integration of technology, departments, and processes. We moved towards being a single data house, based in their case on Microsoft SQL. We dropped Oracle and diverse open source solutions, which help reduce the cost of our data stack and in turn reducing the cost of our data. We recently upgraded to an AI-driven reporting solution to replace the legacy Power BI-based platform. We reduce complication, simplify where possible. We move to elegant solutions. Now, I'd call them really data-driven, and they're also AI-ready. They really trust their data and have great confidence in their information and insights. No one questions data provenance. They're AI curious and adopters. They can see where AI is needed first from their business modeling work. Initial AI projects were kept small and focused. Together, we learned from each one, and with our guidance, they got better at identifying core issues and delivering business-led solutions. And it took just over 2 years of very hard work and considerable pain. It was quite a big tanker that needed to be moved with care onto a new bearing. My part in this was a sort of fractional CIO, COO type role. I was reporting to the CEO, strategy, guiding, and mentoring the teams most impacted, leadership in the early days. But I relied on that support from the CEO and the exec team. Intelidat cost less than a decent member of staff over those 2 years, but delivered real quantifiable value. You could argue that they could have done it all without us, and you're probably right, but not in that time frame and not achieving those outcomes. It was not all down to Intelidat. 80% was down to them and their attitude, the way the leadership and management bought in and the staff at all levels bore with the pain. I thought we'd done our job really well. Maybe we could have charged more based on the value delivered. But now we're on an extended retainer a couple of days a month. It's their choice because the little tweaks we advise tend to save them wasting time and money and help them keep focused on their basics. We keep their toes to the line and help maintain their strategic oversight. I was astonished at their cost of £3 million per annum, 10% of turnover. With experience, I now found this is slightly high, but not unusual. We got this cost down to just below 5% in 2 years, an annual saving of £1.5 million every year before we factor in all the other benefits, add in the reduced cost of delivery, improved decision-making, agility and speed of reaction, improved service levels, etc., etc. And there's still room for improvement. Do you think you could achieve similar results? This is not an extreme case. What would you save if you could cut your information and data costs by 50%, not just once, but ongoing? In this case, £1.5 million of annual overhead saving every year. That's a lot of new clients to sign. On top of this, with the benefits in efficiency, these are less straightforward to quantify and they're still being realized. But I think we're looking at operating costs down, stress down, mistakes down, even revenue up as they're now charging 100% of their overruns. I think these figures will eventually reach out to an order of £1 million per annum. That's an 8% improvement on net profit, even before we add in better decision-making, better information to base their business case. And all for the cost of £100,000 or so over 2 years. They had no idea they could save any money, let alone so much. And nobody at the client at that time was really thinking about AI. But I was. I always knew about that additional hidden benefit. And now, so do you. Maybe this could be you. What are the foundations to being AI ready? I'd like to park the issue of getting AI sorted while we address the foundations to being data-driven and AI ready. There's some of the sort of issues and questions that I hear repeated. Are we pouring good money after bad? Are we getting value for money? Can we be more efficient? Are we being left behind? Are we mired in spreadsheets? Do people who work for us think we're professional or amateur? If any of this resonates at all, you may need to do some foundation work before you make an investment decisions into AI. I call this framework your information strategy. It underpins your information needs, but it is also the basis of your AI strategy. Information that is based on data, intelligent data that gives us insights, not to be confused with the data that is expensive and of limited use. The most important cornerstone of your business strategy in the 21st century. You need to know where you are now. You need to know where you want to get to, what you need to succeed. Strategies, as we know, underpin plans, and they should be the basis for building all and any digital information plans. And the key message through this, focus on your data, not the technology. Where are you now? So you start with a business, with your business architecture. How do departments and processes link together from marketing to finance? Process and system reviews and analyses. How does data flow? What is your data vision? You understand how your current systems work, overview of what is used and where. The ideal is to build a comprehensive business model. It's not as difficult as you think and will deliver real long-term value as you use it to know your business, how it works. And where do you need to get to? Refer to your business strategy, understand frustrations, pinch points, inefficiency, business needs, resolve priorities now and know what is needed to be done first. Get your technology working for your business. Information or digital strategy. Do you have one? Maybe you call it by a different name. Is it completed, in progress, thinking about it, never started? Information, feedback is always appreciated. Sorry, I was just checking my chat box. It's going through. There are 7 key drivers that we see in business that are already successful at building data value, being data-driven and becoming AI ready. The key ones are information leadership and culture, business architecture, business glossary. This is one of the key drivers. Leadership, whether from the CEO or a chief operating information or digital officer, is more than very important. I think it's absolutely vital, without which we get a fragmented approach. Departments and process owners demanding designing and solutioning in isolation. No clear direction, frustration, confusion, anxiety, cost, and more money needed. You may well have people talking about data quality. Whose problem is it? Well, it's not someone else's problem to solve. Data quality belongs to everyone. We can see the benefits of quality data. We need to take ownership of the issues. Often, de facto leadership is from the IT department, but that tends to be very technology-based. How do we resolve a problem? They're not looking at the business needs. So often when I first start working with a business, I can see if there's any clear vision. Just like an accountant or a marketeer or a sales leader, you can spot the signs. So early work is invariably evolving a vision and a strategy, aligned with and supporting the business strategy. Cultivating a data-driven culture. Promoting digital literacy, raise employee and leadership expectations of what information technology can do beyond the spreadsheet mentality. Data drives activity. It's wrong to think of it just as a lag reporter, what happened yesterday or last month. It should drive prediction. If we keep doing what we are doing, what will happen next? Training. It's not unusual to start with a leadership course for the C-suite, opens eyes as to what to expect. Always going to be lots to do. Everyone will expect their priorities met now. So you have to manage expectations, planning, prioritization, and delivery. Everything is important. What do we need to do first? The business priorities. I've got to focus on data vision. Make sure you're getting the data you need today, anticipating what questions you'll need to answer next year, aligning data and information to your business objectives. You need to be able to drive, manage, and implement changes. You need to own the privacy, security, bias, and fairness issues. Allocate resources according to business priorities. A leader who is not associated with any department, accountable for success or failure, driving improvement, being able to drive change. In my experience, they need to be business first. See data and technology as tools that help deliver goals. Curiosity helps. Technical understanding helps with communication. Sitting on the exec board helps you can understand what is needed. What are the priorities? Success is not measured in expenditure or technology choices or the size of the tech team. Measures of success and ROI are understood and in line with business goals. Whether you build a model, a series of diagrams, even a roadmap or plan, you really need something that describes how your business should be run. The business flow through departments and processes, maybe even systems and technology. Just high level is better than nothing. Detailed key bits is better still. The key bits to focus on are the interfaces, where departments or people, processes, even systems and technology hand over to each other. It'll help you to build a data flow. Where is key data captured first? Where else is it used? How does it get there? Model your risks, business and data, your mitigations and controls. I used to use whiteboards. Miro is still my go-to tool here, allied to Visio and Excel, depending on what the clients already use. Until I discovered business process modeling tools, I've been searching for a tool to help me articulate my vision, and this proved to be a godsend. If you're planning a digital transformation and you do not have a good model in place, I have to ask, how do you really know what you're doing or why? Will it work? Will your business actually be transformed? 70% of digital transformations fail. That's a lot of time, money, and effort going to waste. And why do so many fail? I'm pretty confident I know why. I think it's down to the foundations, not having a clear idea of what is actually needed and why. And this is my third most important driver. I cannot encourage you enough to build a glossary. It needs to be easy to find and use and kept up to date. It could be a Google Sheet or a PDF on your intranet. Maybe you build it in one of these new low-code, no-code solutions like Notion or Coda, or even Airtable or Undaku. Or you cut out the pain and invest in a proper business knowledge hub. If you save 1% of your staff time, what is that? 1% of your gross annual staff budget, not even adding in the total cost of office, technology, expenses and support. It won't be a small figure and it only gets bigger. If you're in a regulated industry like pharma or finance, the benefits are even greater. Do you need a glossary? Here's a quick tester you can use. Have you defined a customer? I often use this when first getting involved with a client, getting examples from 4 different disciplines: marketing, sales, finance, and BI, and even from 3 different levels within those disciplines. Define the customer. What are they called? How are they defined? How do we track them? What system? What is the key data to track and count clients? Well, this is getting more knowledge of your data structure. Where do we find that data? More techie knowledge is required. You might be surprised at the variance. If you then ask, how do I identify a regular client, a repeat client, a new client, even a VIP client? What do we need to know? You might repeat this with 2 or 3 KPIs, balanced, i.e. not all financial. How can you measure something if you have more than one definition of that metric? Just wondering while I was doing that, how many of you thought, client, customer, that's something we really need to define? There will be a few of you on here. There always are. Master data structure. Please bear with me here. This is starting to get a bit technical, but it's as far as we're going to go. My experience has shown me that the leadership, the executive team, in fact, all managers and employees need to acknowledge that there is such a concept without having to understand it in detail. For instance, we all know that there is a chart of accounts that guides the finance team. We ask for printouts to tell us how a particular cost centre is doing. We might tell them what we need going forward, but we cannot change it ourselves. No department can declare UDI, go their own financial way. That's down to the CFO and the finance team to manage. The same should be true with your data. Data with value belongs to the business. It has value because it has context, not because there's lots of it. And having a recognized master data structure, or MDS, is where this starts. I'd love to know whether anyone on here actually has an MDS. And then we move on to integrated business systems, where you view the business, as I said, in a holistic 360-degree way. Every process, system, and technology is interconnected so as to deliver value, seamless integration, no cutting and pasting or data transfers from one system to another. Today, we talk about data collaboration. There are crucial issues to resolve: silos, data captured and stored in department, process, or technology silos, complex systems which are not elegant. Business, system, and solution architecture is about reducing complication, making systems logical and elegant, introducing automation, promoting best practice, productivity through automation and efficiency, best practice through control and guidance, and finally, what's called user experience, or UX. Happy users see their systems as their ally, not as an oppressor. If you have any spreadsheet-based systems, that to me indicates an issue. The more you have, the bigger the issue. I cannot exaggerate how big a business risk spreadsheet-based systems will bring to your business, both data risk and business risk. The next consideration is reporting. Is your reporting at the moment dependent on individuals or teams or departments? Data-driven means democratization, dashboards that have use and are used, designed for a particular audience, part of an SOP. Reports should be available to those who need them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Real-time, accurate data available to all. Allow your people to focus on deriving actionable insights, not getting the data, waiting on other people to produce the reports they need. Where you do not trust your data, or you trust financial reports better if they come from finance, then you have a problem. If your first thought on seeing a standard report is to compare it against other similar reports, you probably have a problem. If you wonder if anyone has sense-checked it, you have a problem. Remember, AI will use this data, this information, without a human being curating it first. Some people argue that it is capable of cleaning it up. I don't agree. It would need a huge database of data it trusted to do that. And if you had that, you probably would not have an issue in the first place. And last but by no means least is data governance. Data, if you get it right, can, and I repeat, can have value. But data always has potential liability, whether it's legal responsibilities or just the cost of storage. It's essential to address governance, to put structures in place. Everyone will suffer a breach. They're probably happening to many of us right now. You must have the structures in place, not only to do the right thing, but also to be seen to be doing the right thing. Before we move on, who here has a formal data governance structure in place? Hand on heart, ready to open to the ICO when they knock on your door. Yeah, I'm not seeing anyone in there. Can anyone here say no? Yes, no? Okay. Every market, country or confederation is getting in on this bandwagon. GDPR, as we know, is the blue ribbon across the world, but you have them now in the USA, Brazil, South Africa, and so on. The punishments are getting larger. €1 billion being meted out to Meta. Big numbers and bigger if you're seen to be addressing it. Building in structures, not building them on. GDPR carries a 4% of global turnover fine, top end fine. You ignore governance at your peril. Run well, it'll carry over into cybersecurity and resilience. Other big topics that happen to other people, never you or me. That was a dark joke. It happened to a friend of a friend's business 4 weeks ago. It is expensive, and however much I would like to have been able to help, it is very difficult to do anything simple after the horse has already bolted. We've covered our key drivers for success: leadership, modeling, glossary, or knowledge hub. The best for you depends on your business needs. Not every business has exactly the same needs and requirements. I always start with the leadership and culture, a business process model, and a glossary, even if you don't think you need a full business knowledge hub. They're the key drivers of your strategy. Knowing how your people, process, and systems interact and how your data flows through your business. This data vision leads to your master data structure, even if it's only an outline. The importance of integrated business systems to drive processes, simple, elegant, integrated, and reporting, all reports trusted and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I call it reporting democracy. Governance and cybersecurity. Breaches are expensive and can be really damaging both to the business and to your wallets. KPIs for data and information. ROI, how do you measure the cost of delivery versus the value derived? In all, a culture of data quality where everyone plays their part. How will you measure success or failure for your digital initiatives? Can you convert that into benefit and cost? How will you determine data value? How will you know if you're AI ready? How will you know where AI will help? The foundations is all about having the information that you need to decide where and how AI will help, and then what part of AI will help, or identifying issues that could be ameliorated by looking at AI-based solutions. If you have lots of issues to address, you need to get your priorities sorted. You need to start small, show you can deliver success to your organization. Keep the scope focused. We've already been over these primary drivers. Until you're happy that you have these three well covered, I think it's difficult to go further. I always start by concentrating hard on these, particularly the business architecture model bit. However you deliver this, experience has always shown me that a proper model delivers better planning. Don't skimp on it. Good preparation underpins successful implementation. After all, it's not the technology choices that are most important, it's the way we implement them that delivers value. Leadership focused on your business needs. We've already covered these points. You may not need or warrant a full-time leader, and that's where people like us come in to help. The pace of change can be slow. Digital transformation is a cultural shift. Big bang is sometimes needed, but iterative tends to be better. It needs to be able to bring the data team into the business circle. If you need help, this is a key area where we can step in. Not everyone needs a full-time resource here, but you do need someone to focus on this area. It's so important to get the right leadership in place. Mistakes, delays are hugely damaging to digital implementation, as I'm sure many on here have experienced. I've certainly seen it myself. Do not underestimate the cost of inexperienced leadership or the value of experienced leadership. It could be in the role of a mentor or even leadership support for an existing team. We don't have any fixed response to every potential client. We need to understand what you need and then see if we can help. If we can't, we'll certainly not suggest something that's inappropriate for either of us. I keep referring to this bit, knowing your own business. I'm told that it is the role of middle management, but that's not workable in the modern world. Agile businesses, and we all need to be agile, need to be able to move quickly. A leadership team, you will benefit from being able to look in detail at how your business really works, how your people, departments, roles, and individuals deliver your processes, what systems and technology are used to manage these processes. What and where is your risk exposure, and how do you control and mitigate those risks? Who is responsible and accountable for every potential risk? With a working model, you can identify weaknesses, pinch points, and set your priorities for change. You can use these models even to simulate change. That's called digital twinning. That will highlight potential issues arising up or downstream from your potential changes. Will you affect the current data flow? Expose the business to new or even existing risks? Where are you already using AI? Where could you use AI better? We call this business process modeling. It's incredibly valuable, but it's not a quick fix. The faster sibling is called process mining. Getting this right makes for an asset of real long-term value. You capture processes and sub-processes from across the business landscape, model how they relate to each other, to people and departments with responsibility, accountability, consultant-informed data, to technology, to risk, control, mitigation. finding opportunities for automation, building an inventory of all the processes with any group, department, or organization. There are a lot of built-in advantages to having a full business model outside of the AI question. Continuity and business resilience, strategic tracking and identifying which processes are driving the attainment of strategic goals. What is driving digital business and cultural change? Prioritize opportunities for RPA, automation, or indeed any other digital transformation goals. You can relate this back to a full customer journey and identifying the internal processes and interfaces that drive that customer journey. But as I said, it can take time, and that is where its powerful sibling can be brought into play. It's called business process mining, and this is really powerful. If you're a digitally aware business, your processes are managed in digital systems, then it's highly probable that you can take full advantage of this technique today. Every system that you use will generate a log or event file. Who did what and when? It's actually a goldmine of information, and most businesses never use it till now. We use the log files from applicable systems to build a visual representation of what is going on in your business, how long it takes, how many variations there are in the process flow, and so on. The use cases will vary from business to business. We've seen it used to reduce price changes, optimize working capital requirements, reduce costs, identify potential productivity gains. What it does is highlight what people are actually doing, highlight gaps in operations and opportunities to bring value into reality. I have a very short demo video, which you can watch on YouTube, dtp.im/mining. But here is a quick case study. The client in question here, £20 million turnover, approximately 200 employees. They suspected they had problems in the supply chain and management of their supply orders. So from proof of value scope, we looked at the purchase to pay process, data from 2 separate IT systems. And with a minimal time investment, as you can see on the screen, the organization was able to uncover 3 outcomes in process efficiency. So 1 hour to start with, 5 days in the middle, and an hour to present it afterwards, 1 week. And what did we find? 20% of all orders were not contracted for projects with approximately 1 month lead time. Not what they said. 776 unpaid invoices worth 400,000 euros, impacting nearly 80% of their main customers. 55% of all invoices were paid before the payment deadline, meaning approximately 4.6 million euros in working capital was not being optimized. The margin was being reduced by 21% on average for 4 main product groups, increasing project losses due to prices for the 2 main product groups. 2,000 adjustments to orders per month. That resulted in 60% rework and extending delivery times by approximately 2 weeks. These were the key findings. Process mining provides very quick insights. It does not need any investment in new infrastructure and even new technology. It can even be used to start a business modeling project itself. I have a demo, as I said, which is available at YouTube on dtp.im/mining. My third key pillar is the glossary. Every time I start a new project, I will always start a new glossary. Everything that one does with digital and computers breaks down into ones and zeros. There's no room for variation. So everything, and I mean everything, needs to be tied down to a single definition. Terms, business specific, industry or more general, including initials, acronyms, synonyms, even local variations. And why do you do this? To standardize your terminology, improve your communication and understanding, reduce communication errors. If you're looking to be data-driven and support your analytics, standardizing your metrics and KPI definitions and data sources is a vital first step. If your business is regulated, financial, medical, or similar, it is a very valuable piece of insurance, helps you reduce exposure to mistakes and fines and bad audit findings. For everyone else, it's the best value, most simple and fastest productivity boost that you can add to your business. If you want to see a short demo, again, use the link dtp.im/BKH for Business Knowledge Hub And once you've got your foundation started and you know how your business works, you get your AI strategy. How will AI help your business? It's more than just ChatGPT. There are many strands in this topic. Being AI ready will help transform the thoughts and ideas from your AI strategists into reality. Where are you inefficient? Can AI make you more efficient? Creativity, content, automation, prediction, and forecasting. You have to understand how AI can help. You must also be in a position where you can evaluate these ideas against your business model. You must prioritize what the business needs, not what some individuals think might be needed. Remember, AI may be already happening. Remember the issues of shadow AI. If you need help or advice with either strategic or implementation, do book a call. If you just want a generic chat, book a call, quite happy. Having sat through nearly an hour, I would love to know, was there anything you did or have done that I have not covered? I would really love to know what you think. What is the key takeaway that you've gathered from today? Is there any one thing that you will do as a result of our time together, or anything that you will stop doing or not do again? I'd love some feedback here. And here is a little nugget for you. AI in reporting is flying under the radar. Reporting democracy used to mean you run your own standard reports, but if you wanted to answer a different question, you either had to go back to an analyst and wait for them to prioritize your work, or maybe you opened up Power BI or Tableau, ClickUp or Excel yourself and work out how to get the data and model it yourself. It all takes time, possibly a few hours, often longer, and then you have to test your results to see if you've made a mistake, and then maybe go back to the BI team. What about making it much more simple, cutting out the engineering bit and going straight to the analytics? There is a new breed of solutions available where you can type in what you want to know in natural language, and that turns your question into a graph or a table as appropriate. You might ask a question like, what are our 10 top product lines in Europe this month? How do they compare to the US top 10 products? That you can change the question at will. You can refine your question, change the wording, and the technology will return a different answer or drill down and see what's behind the headlines. Analytic power to the business user. You can save what you find for later use, add it to a private or a public dashboard, and share it with colleagues for their commentary. Meanwhile, your analysts can do what they're paid for, analyze your data to drive better insights, not answer mundane questions about technology. But there is a caveat here, and that's your data. These new solutions are very clever, but they cannot turn, and I apologize, a pig's ear into a silk purse. I'm really sorry. If you need humans to curate your current reporting process, you will still need humans in this new world. So fix your data at source, store it logically, so that you do not need a data science degree to ask the right questions. These new breed solutions are similar in price to the incumbents, but they are miles ahead in value. If you want a solution to look at, drop me an email and ask in chat. My mission today has been to educate and to share my framework steps. If you don't know where to start, have any questions, or just want some advice, let's arrange a call. The link to book a suitable slot is on the screen, dtp.im/call.